Hey guys, this is going to be an interesting video. I'm reading Passport to the Cosmos by John Mack. He was a Harvard psychiatrist who decided to take on alien abductions in the early 90s. And well, first off, he came in with the assumption that he was probably going to classify alien abduction experiences as some kind of hallucination, or maybe some kind of pathology where they're lying, um, some, you know, added to the textbooks as some kind of form of abnormal psychology. Um, but to his surprise, the evidence weighed in from his studies, and he changed his mind. He believed, here we are, a Harvard psychiatrist. Um, he won a Pulitzer Prize beforehand. Um, here we are, this guy saying, look, whatever these people are experiencing, they're not lying about it. Um, and they're for the most part, they are all normal people. They don't have any other weird things going on with them. They're actually normal people who have a bizarre experience, and they try to make sense with it. And some of them even have have symptoms of post-traumatic stress from these experiences. So it was a big question mark in the early 1990s. He came out and said, "Look, these people aren't lying. These aren't just hallucinations that can be dismissed. We do not understand it yet. There may be some legitimacy behind the things that they're experiencing, um, but unlike some, I guess, other theorists who are in this field, he believed these things weren't necessarily physical. Not that they weren't." But they also seem to fit into archetypal motifs of the human psyche. So he kind of referred to Carl Jung a little bit with this. Um, and it seems to me, in this book, his theories have come to fruition. He spent most of the 90s continuing to research this, and Harvard kind of crucified him because they led this investigation into him to see if he was, had a good study going on, and they couldn't find any faults. They actually had to leave the guy alone tentatively. Um, but what he began to hypothesize was what we consider to be reality um, could could actually be only part of the picture. There could be so much more to reality. Um, the Western notion of this objective material reality could actually be a fragment of it. And what's erupting in modern Western culture, we seem to be these pragmatic materialist people, but underneath there's so many folks who are experiencing this bizarre, um, semi-physical, semi-spiritual, multidimensional encounters, um, and that led him to the question, to what degree are we dismissing all these other aspects of reality? And he went exploring different cultures' interpretations of it. It seems to be a worldwide phenomenon. I thought this was interesting. And even more interesting is the more shamanic cultures, more tribal cultures. Um, they don't see this with the same kind of horrificness that Western people tend to experience these abductions as. They see these beings as part of this whole. Well, I mean, to describe it kind of simply without really getting to the details because I'm not very knowledgeable about this, but the the difference between physical material reality and the spirit realm, there is no real difference. They're kind of interchangeable, and these beings are from that other realm. And he hypothesized, at least, this is Mac's idea, they may be real in some sense, but not necessarily what we consider to be real. We have to actually expand our definition of reality in order to, to take this on. We can't dismiss it. It's we have to change our mindset in order to understand this. Um, so they're beyond our reality, our notion of reality. And two, it seems like the eruption of these beings in modern culture signifies uh, the suppression and rejection, the disowning of our spiritual nature. And the fact that these things are kind of violently erupting and taking people um, almost fits in almost too perfectly for this archetypal vision of, suppressing aspects of ourselves only to have them bubble up later. So he saw them as sort of like the return of our spiritual nature, and he wasn't sure what they were doing. And I'm not done reading the book yet, so I'm not sure about all of his theories. But a lot of alien abduction encounters and experiences tend to be have to do with human reproduction. Um, I seem to be thinking that they're going to create some new race. There's a lot of weird mythos here going on. They seem to be playing out mythology. But what I like about Mac is that he doesn't try to pigeonhole this as all archetypes in mythology and generations of our collective unconscious. He thinks that could be part of it. He thinks they could be beings in their own right too. Um, they could be spiritual, they could be physical, they could be archetypal, and everything in between. We have to, this whole A or B reality. They don't fit into that. So and that's what I mean by, we have to expand our reality in order to understand them. Um, so I really like his point of view because I think it's the most comprehensive and balanced, because he tries to take into account so many different cultures' points of views as to what is reality, what is not. And it's kind of humbling um, to hear all these different takes from all these different world cultures and people from around the world. And also kind of creepy that these things are popping up like archetypes, as in they uh, they are similar world round. Um, so I think that's interesting. It's not just a culture believes in Jesus, they'll see Jesus. It's they are a distinct entity, this distinct phenomenon. Even Aboriginal cultures say that these beings are not just normal spirits. They have a particular potency of their own, and they're unique because of that. Um, so yeah, I would love to hear everyone else's thoughts on what these things are, and I definitely recommend checking out at least checking his wiki page. Um, Too often, we dismiss abduction experiences as I don't know, not lucid dreaming, but night terrors, when really these things are profoundly more than that. Um, but their ambiguity seems to allude to our understanding of reality, um, especially dream states and altered states, um, are actually not necessarily just bizarre illusions of this physical mind. Um, the alternative is, which is probably more plausible because it's not exactly fitting with Occam's razor, but at the same time, um, our dreams and our dream states and our altered states seem to be connected more to this spiritual dimension of reality. Um, so, from a materialist standpoint, I could easily see why anybody would say these people are just having night terrors based off of popular culture. Never mind, popular culture got all of their ideas from real abduction experiences. Even Close Encounters, Steven Spielberg movie, that was actually the beings in that movie. I know they usually claim that the movie started the archetype. It was the other way around. They got the ideas from these beings from real encounters. So the media was based off of documented cases to begin with. So this other spiritual realm seems to be wholly and deeply interconnected and as a part of our experience, but something we've disowned. And at least in my opinion, I kind of agree with Mac in that the return of these beings may be the eruption of the spiritual realm coming back in a time where maybe it has to, or maybe we've been pushing it away too long. Who knows? At any rate, your thoughts.